Hey, welcome to Comp Plan Decoder. This is where we'll break down the top compensation plans in network marketing so you can actually understand how they work. No hype, no fluff, just the facts. I'm your host, Bill Kaysen. Let's go ahead and decode AVON.
Unlock the money, decode the truth. It's time to break down the comp plan for you. No hype, no fluff, just numbers at work. Comp Plan Decoder, get paid what you're worth.
Okay, welcome back everyone to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're really getting into the details of something pretty crucial for anyone in the AVON ecosystem.
Yeah, the 2025 Career and Compensation Guide.
Exactly. This document, it's the roadmap, isn't it?
It really is. It lays out exactly how you earn, how money moves through the system for the next year. It's the blueprint.
Right. So our goal today is to unpack that, cut through maybe some of the jargon, and figure out precisely how earning works based on this 2025 guide.
We want to map out the different ways you can make money. You know, from your own sales, building a team, developing leaders.
And what you actually need to do for each step, the requirements.
Exactly. Understanding the rules for 2025, the percentages, the sales targets, those key things you need to hit to unlock different income levels.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning, the absolute foundation. According to the guide, how does someone first start earning?
Well, at its core, it really comes down to selling the products.
Simple as that.
Fundamentally, yes. The guide calls it ambassador commissions.
Right.
That's the primary initial earning method.
Okay, and how's that calculated?
It's based on the customer price. You know, the suggested retail selling price. And it includes your own personal orders plus orders your customers place directly.
Gotcha. So it's your total sales volume, not just what you sell to others personally.
Right. And here's a key thing right off the bat. Your commission percentage isn't fixed.
Oh, okay. It changes.
Yeah, it goes up as your campaign sales volume increases. More sales, potentially a higher rate.
Interesting. And does it matter what you sell?
It absolutely does. This is fascinating. The guide splits products into two main groups, beauty and jewelry,
Okay.
and then fashion and home. And the earning potential, especially the commission rate, is structured differently between those two.
Really? How differently?
Significantly, particularly as your sales numbers climb.
Okay, let's look at the actual numbers they give. The chart shows if your sales in a campaign are between $40 and just under $120.
Right, $40 to $119.99.
Yeah, you get 20% commission on beauty jewelry and also 20% on fashion home, pretty standard start.
Exactly, a baseline 20% across the board at that entry level.
But
the moment you hit $120 in sales for the campaign, things change.
Okay.
For sales between $120 and $349.99, your commission on beauty and jewelry jumps to 30%.
Wow, quite a jump. And fashion home?
Stays at 20%.
Ah, okay, so the gap starts there.
It does, and it gets wider, from $350 up to almost $1,500, so $1,499.99.
Let me guess, beauty jewelry goes up again?
Yep, 40% commission on beauty and jewelry.
40%. Okay, and fashion home?
That moves up, but only to 25%.
So 40% versus 25%, that's a substantial difference.
Huge. And it continues. For the next tier, $1,500 up to $6,499.99.
Yeah.
Beauty and jewelry hits 45% commission.
45. And fashion home?
Still 25%. It caps there for fashion home.
Right, and the top tier. For the real high volume sellers, $6,500 plus.
You hit the maximum commission on beauty and jewelry, 50%, half the selling price.
50%. But fashion home is still stuck at 25%. Still 25%. That's its ceiling, according to this guide.
So the takeaway here is pretty clear for maximizing personal commission.
Absolutely. If you want the highest percentage back on your own sales, the focus really needs to be on beauty and jewelry, especially once you're consistently selling over, say, $350 a campaign. That's where those percentages really take off compared to fashion home.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So personal sales commissions are clear. Once you've got that down, how does the guide show you can, well, multiply your income potential? Team building, I assume.
Exactly. That's the next big layer, building a team. And this introduces what the guide calls generation bonuses.
Generation bonuses. Okay, when do those kick in?
They start once you reach the star promoter title.
And how do they work? Is it based on your team's performance?
It's based on your performance title, specifically. Yep. The guide says the percentage you earn and how many generations deep you get paid on depends entirely on your own title level.
Regardless of the titles of the people in your team. Correct. Your title unlocks the bonus percentage and depth for your earnings from your downline.
And these are extra, right? On top of your own sales commission.
Yes. Crucially, these generation bonuses are paid in addition to your personal commissions and potentially other bonuses too.
Okay, so what do you need to actually do each campaign to qualify for these bonuses, to get paid?
There are key requirements. You need to meet your own minimum personal sales target for the campaign.
Right.
And your first level recruits, your Generation 1 or G1, they need to meet certain minimum order requirements as well.
Okay. Now, the guide mentions something called personal sales protection. That sounds helpful. How does that work?
It is helpful. It's kind of a safety net, mainly for bronze promoters and above.
A safety net, how?
Think of it like a points bank. You get a certain number of points, 200 for bronze promoters and up, and 600 for leaders and executive leaders.
Okay.
If you happen to miss your usual $200 personal sales requirement in a campaign, you can use these points to cover it and still potentially qualify for bonuses.
Oh, interesting. Can you get those points back?
Yes, you can refill your points bank. If you sell more than the $200 requirement in a later campaign, you replenish the points you used.
That adds some nice flexibility. Okay, so how are these generation bonuses calculated? What sales figure are they based on?
They use something called leadership sales.
Leadership sales, what's that?
It's basically the net sales volume from your team. But they exclude certain things like sales aids, brochures, samples, starter kits.
Things that aren't actual customer products.
Exactly. And also while supplies last items. So it's the core product sales volume of your team.
Got it. So leadership sales is the base number. Does the guide give examples of the bonus percentages?
Yes, it does. For instance, if you're a bronze leader, you can earn bonuses on your first 3 generations, G1, G2, and G3.
And the rates?
For a bronze leader, it's 6.5% on your G1's leadership sales, 3% on G2, and 2% on G3.
Okay. And looking at the summary table in the guide, that G1 percentage, the main one, it varies quite a bit depending on your title, right?
It really does. It starts lower at 3% for star and bronze promoters. Then it climbs. 4% for silver promoter, 5% for gold promoter. Then that 6.5% for bronze leader we mentioned.
And it keeps going up.
Yes. It peaks at 8% for gold leaders and all the executive leader titles. So the higher your title, the bigger the percentage you get from your direct recruits team sales.
And you mentioned generations G1, G2, G3. Can we quickly clarify what those mean?
Sure. G1 is simply the ambassadors you personally recruited, your direct team members.
Okay.
G2 are the people they recruit, so your second level down.
Right.
And G3 are the people recruited by your G2 members, your third level.
And the guide says you start earning on G3 when?
You start earning on that third generation once you hit the gold promoter title. And you continue earning on all 3 generations, G1, G2, G3, all the way up through the executive leader ranks.
Okay, that makes sense. So personal sales commissions, then generation bonuses from building your team across those first 3 levels. What's the next step the guide points to for increasing income? Is there more?
Oh, yes. The next level is about developing leaders within your own team.
Ah, so not just recruiting, but mentoring people up to leadership levels.
Precisely. And this is rewarded through what they call leader bonuses.
Leader bonuses, okay.
This bonus specifically pays you for helping your downline members reach the bronze leader title or higher.
So, if someone in your team becomes a leader themselves, you get an extra bonus based on their team's success.
That's exactly it. You can earn additional bonuses, the guide says up to 5%, calculated on the sales of that leader's specific team structure.
And is this also paid on top of the generation bonuses?
Yes, these are also paid in addition to any other commissions or bonuses you might be earning.
Wow, okay. So the guide mentions these can be earned through up to 3 leader levels, L1, L2, L3. What does leader level mean in this context?
Right. Leader level refers to the depth of actual leaders in your downline structure.
Depth?
Yeah. Think of it like this. An L1 leader is the very first person in any given leg or branch of your downline who achieves a leader title, bronze leader or higher.
Okay, the first one down a line.
Exactly. Then an L2 leader is the first person underneath that L1 leader who also achieves a leader title.
Got it. Second leader down that same line.
Correct. And L3 is the first leader underneath the L2. So it's tracking the chain of leadership development downwards.
And the bonus is based on their team sales.
Yes, it's calculated on the leadership sales of what the guide calls that leader's central team.
Central team.
That means the leader themselves plus all the promoters and ambassadors in their downline until you hit the next leader down that line. It's the group directly managed by that specific leader.
Okay, that clarifies it. So when do you start earning these leader bonuses? Which title?
According to the table, Leader bonus eligibility starts when you become a silver leader.
And what do you earn then?
As a silver leader, you earn 3% on the central team sales of your L1 leaders.
Just L1 at that point.
Yes. Then, when you reach gold leader, it expands. You get 3% on L1 leaders and 2% on your L2 leaders.
Okay, so it goes deeper as you go higher.
Exactly. And the executive leader titles get even more. Higher percentages, and they earn on all 3 levels, L1, L2, and L3. For example, a gold or platinum executive leader can earn 5% on L1, 5% on L2, and 4% on L3.
5%. That's significant.
It really is. This bonus structure clearly emphasizes the financial reward for not just building a team, but actively developing successful leaders deep within your organization.
Yeah.
It's about mentorship paying off.
Right. So we have personal sales, generation bonuses for team building, leader bonuses for developing leaders. Are there any other sort of standalone bonuses mentioned?
Yes. The guide details 2 more, the sponsor bonus and the lifestyle bonus.
Okay, sponsor bonus first. What's that about?
This one is a direct reward for, well, sponsoring, bringing new people into the business and helping them get started effectively.
How does it work specifically?
You earn a 3% bonus calculated on personal sales of all the ambassadors you personally recruited.
3% on everything they sell personally?
Yes, but there's a small catch for you.
Ah, okay. What is it?
You need to have at least $50 in your own personal sales during that same campaign to qualify to receive that 3% bonus from your recruit sales for that specific campaign.
Okay, so you need to be active yourself with at least $50 in sales.
Exactly. If you hit that $50, you get the 3% on the personal sales paid in addition to everything else. It's a clear nudge to stay active while you're sponsoring.
Makes sense. Consistent recruiting and keeping your recruits active pays off directly. Okay, and the lifestyle bonus. Sounds nice.
It is nice. This is an extra cash bonus specifically for reaching and, importantly, maintaining the top performance tiers, the executive leader titles.
So bronze, silver, gold, platinum executive leaders.
Correct. Those 4 top titles.
And are the amounts set?
Yes, the guide lists specific amounts paid every 2 weeks, provided you meet the qualifications for your executive leader title during that period.
What are the amounts?
It's $250 every 2 weeks for a bronze executive leader, $300 for silver, $350 for gold, and $400 for platinum executive leader.
So an extra $500 to $800 per month just for maintaining that top status.
Pretty much. It's explicitly tied to achieving and holding those highest levels of performance in the plan.
Okay. Now, you mentioned this is the 2025 guide. Is there anything particularly new or different highlighted for 2025?
Yes, there's one really significant new requirement that jumps out. It's called the New W Personally Sourced Ambassador requirement.
Okay. NEW Personally Sourced Ambassador, PSA.
Exactly, PSA. This is a critical new rule specifically for campaigns 1 through 24 of 2025.
And what's the rule?
The guide states that to be eligible for any of the Leadership Bonus Program payouts, that means your generation bonuses and your leader bonuses.
The team-based ones.
Right. To get paid those, you must have a minimum of 3 new personally sourced ambassadors, PSAs, by the end of campaign 24, 2025.
3 PSAs. Who does this apply to? Everyone.
It applies to anyone who holds the title of promoter, candidate for CA, or any higher title. So basically, anyone eligible for those leadership bonuses needs to meet this.
Okay, so you need 3 PSAs by year end to get your team bonuses paid out for 2025. What exactly makes someone a PSA according to this guide?
Good question. A PSA is defined very specifically. It's an ambassador that you personally recruited, who places their very first AVON order, and that order has a minimum value of $75 or more.
$75. Does it have to be one single order?
No. The guide clarifies it can be a single order of $75 plus playing, or it can be cumulative sales within their first campaign that add up to $75 plus playing.
Got it. So a new recruit needs to place at least $75 in orders pretty quickly. Is there a deadline for when they need to place that first $75 order?
Yes, there's a specific time frame mentioned. A new recruit has the campaign they joined, plus the next 2 full campaigns after that to place that qualifying $75 plus first order.
Okay, so joining campaign plus 2 more.
Exactly. They give an example. If someone joins in campaign 18, 2025, they have until the end of campaign 20, 2025 for their $75 plus order to count towards making them a PSA for their sponsor.
Okay, so this isn't just about signing people up. It's about recruiting people who actually get active and place a decent-sized first order within about 3 campaigns.
Precisely. It shifts the focus towards effective onboarding and getting recruits started successfully and quickly.
And the consequence, if you don't get your 3 PSAs by the end of campaign 24?
The guide is very direct. If that minimum of 3 PSAs is not met by the end of C24 2025, then eligibility for all leadership bonus payouts, generation, and leader bonuses is forfeited for the entire year.
Wow. Forfeited for the whole year. That's huge.
It's a very significant requirement. It really underscores the importance the company is placing on bringing in and activating new ambassadors in 2025 for anyone wanting to earn leadership income.
That definitely changes the game plan for leaders or aspiring leaders. Now, the guide also has that useful summary table, the compensation plan at a glance.
Yeah, that table is really helpful. It pulls everything together.
What does it show?
It clearly lays out the main requirements for each title, campaign by campaign. Things like your minimum personal sales, the minimum G1 orders needed from your first level, the minimum total team sales required for the title, and crucially, it includes that new PSA requirement.
And it links these requirements to the potential earnings.
Yes, it shows which bonuses you become eligible for as you hit each title, the sponsoring bonus, generation bonuses, leader bonuses, and that lifestyle bonus at the top.
Looking at that table, the total team sales figures really escalate, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. It starts reasonably, like $100,000 in total team sales per campaign for a bronze promoter.
Okay.
But then it jumps significantly. $8,500 for a bronze leader.
Wow.
And it keeps climbing steeply, all the way up to $315,000 in total team sales per campaign needed to qualify as a platinum executive leader.
$315,000 per campaign.
Yes. The table makes that progression starkly clear. It shows the sheer scale of business you need to build and sustain to reach and hold those top leadership tiers.
No kidding. Okay, finally, the guide wraps up with some important, let's say, footnotes or disclaimers.
Yes, the standard but necessary fine print, basically.
What should people be aware of?
Well, first, Avon explicitly states they reserve the right to change the compensation plan, the bonuses, the programs, really anything, at any time, and potentially without prior notice.
Good to know. Things can change. What else?
Qualification for any of these rewards or bonuses we've discussed is dependent on you being in good credit standing with Avon.
Right, makes sense. Pay your bills.
Essentially, yes. They also point out something important for leaders. The actions or inactions of your downline members can directly impact your own qualifications and your payouts.
So your team's performance really matters for your bottom line.
Absolutely. And linked to that, the guide mentions Avon can offset outstanding balances you might owe them against your bonuses.
Okay.
And in more serious situations, like if a large part of your team gets into bad debt, or if there's any fraudulent or unethical activity found, Avon reserves the right to withhold bonus payments altogether.
So it's not just about hitting the sales numbers.
Not at all. These points emphasize that building a sustainable, ethical business and managing your team's health is just as important as the sales figures for long-term earning, according to this plan.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive into this AVON 2025 compensation guide, we've really seen it's a multi-layered structure.
Definitely. It starts with those personal sales commissions, where the product category and volume make a huge difference.
Right, especially that beauty jewelry versus fashion home split.
Then it builds into generation bonuses as you recruit and grow a team across your first few levels.
And then layers on the leader bonuses for successfully mentoring people within that team up to leadership roles themselves.
Plus those extra boosts from the sponsor bonus for active recruiting and a lifestyle bonus for hitting and staying at the very top executive leader levels.
And throughout it all, understanding those specific thresholds, the exact sales numbers, team sizes, leader depths is just critical.
Absolutely essential. And for 2025, that new rule is a big one. Needing those 3 personally sourced ambassadors, the PSAs with qualifying first orders, is absolutely mandatory to unlock the leadership income streams.
Non-negotiable for generation and leader bonuses in 2025?
That's what the guide says. Knowing all these pieces, how they fit together, the requirements, that's what lets you build a strategy for your Avon business based on this 2025 plan.
It raises some interesting strategic questions for you, the listener. For example, knowing how much higher the commission rates are for beauty and jewelry at volume, how might that influence your sales focus or even what inventory you carry?
Yeah, and also, given that critical new PSA requirement directly tying leadership bonus payouts to successfully onboarding new active recruits in 2025, how does that shift the priority for someone aiming for leadership? Maybe compared to just focusing on existing team volume in past years.
Those are exactly the kinds of strategic thoughts this guide should prompt.
Yeah.
So our final thought for you to consider. Thinking about all these performance requirements, the sales targets, the team structures, the bonus levels, and especially that brand new PSA rule for 2025, what kind of leadership approach, what strategy do you think would be most effective in maximizing your earnings according to this specific guide?
Unlock the money, decode the truth. It's time to break down the comp plan for you. No hype, no fluff, just numbers that work.